Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Remi. Thanks for tuning in. On my channel I discuss on faith, lifestyle and development. So if you're interested in any of those things, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So for this video, I'm going to be discussing networking in 2020, right? Networking in this day and age. And I'm also going to be talking a little bit about the whole idea of networking and self-promotion and how that kind of ties together. So networking, right? We hear that all the time, especially if you're a professional. As professionals, we hear that all the time, and it has gone beyond just attending an event after work just to hand out your business cards, or just to go attend a networking event just for business, where you're like, okay, I'm going to go to this event after work and I'm going to meet everyone there, or I'm going to hand out my business cards to everyone I see. It's gone beyond that. Networking is 24/7. It's not just when you go to a networking event after work. It's how you portray yourself, the brand that you build for yourself. It's how you self-promote what you know, your value, your qualifications. It happens online, offline, in person. It's 24/7. Networking is 24/7. So I'm going to talk about a couple things that I wanted to share on how to, work on your networking skills in the year 2020 and beyond. And the first thing I'm going to mention or talk about is branding. Who are you and what do you bring to the table? What's your value? What do you have skills and experiences in? What have you built on? What have you learned over the years? Branding yourself, goes beyond just saying, I know this, I know that a little bit, I know this a little bit. It's about, have you devoted time to be an expert on something? Have you built specific skills on something? Have you gained mentorship or mentoring on something? Branding yourself is saying, okay, this is what I can do. This is what I've been doing for years. This is how I've gotten better. This is my value. This is what I bring to the table. This is who I am as a professional because of X, Y, Z. This is pretty much my resume, pretty much. So branding yourself is very important, because if you don't brand yourself, people will brand you for you. And you don't want that, you don't want people to project what they think of you onto you, or give you a brand that is not of you. You take charge of the brand that you want to give as a professional. You take charge of the kind of brand that you want to build for yourself. So that's what I wanted to talk about on branding. And also I wanted to talk about the fact that you are an involved person as a whole, right? So it's not just that thing that you're a subject matter expert on. Is what do you do outside of work? Are you involved in your church? Are you involved? Do you volunteer somewhere? What do you do on your time off? What kind of community person are you? Pretty much. So it goes beyond who's giving you a paycheck. Now it's, who are you as a well-rounded individual? And it matters, because no one is all just business. Everyone has a personal life. Everyone is a human being at the end of the day, because we can be professionals all we want, but at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and it's about who we are as a whole, right? So you're a friend, you're a sister, you're a daughter, you're a wife, you're a church member, you're a mentor, you're a community person. So it's just making sure that it's all part of branding too, if you will. It's just ensuring that, okay, you're building yourself to be a well-rounded individual. And so that's what I wanted to mention about that. And I want to talk a little bit more about online networking, because I kind of mentioned it briefly before. So online networking is, you have a LinkedIn profile. What does it say? And does it, correctly reflect what you can do as a professional? Are you talking to people? Are you keeping your network wide? Are you reaching out to people, not just to ask for a job, but to really get to know them and have a conversation with them, and talk to them about their career and how they've grown over the years and what you can learn from them, and if they have any tips for you and things like that. So it's literally working 24/7 on your branding, on your networking, and on your meeting people, because it's important. It's not just when you're just handing out business cards, because networking events can be very aggressive sometimes, or very just unrealistic, because it's like, okay, fine, we all know that we're here to give out business cards because I need a job. But no, it's more than that. It's 24/7. You're a professional and you're constantly trying to network and meet people, and not just gain something from them, but also provide value to them as well. So online networking is very important. Some people call it networking from your couch. Literally, you're online meeting people, sending emails, saying, oh, I see that you got a new job. Congratulations. How do you like it? Or I saw your company on the news the other day. How are you? Or, what's been going on? How's work? How's your workload? How's life? So things like that. Online networking is very important. Networking takes time, but it's really worth it. And I talked about delivering value, right? So it's not just trying to gain something from someone, also delivering value, like telling people about a conference that's coming up, or telling people about what you learned at a conference. Whatever it is, make sure that you're always bringing something to the table, and people can learn from you as a professional. Another thing I was going to mention is this one. Don't put yourself down. So there was a stats that I saw online about how when a man walks into an interview and he can only do like 75% of what's on his resume, he will walk into the interview very confident and he can do everything on the resume. Like he can do 100% of what's on his resume. But when a woman walks into an interview, apparently from the statistics, I don't know how true it is, but it was saying that when a woman walks into an interview, and if the woman can do 95% of the things on her resume, she's going to just focus on the 5% that she cannot do during the interview. So let's stop that, number one. If you do that, stop that. Stop focusing on what you can't do, and stop trying to shed too much light on what you can't do as a professional. So for example, if you walk into an interview or if you're trying to network, you're not going to say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. How about you start with what you can do, what you're good at, right? Focus on what you can do, because you can think you're being humble by trying to talk so much about what you cannot do or what you've not learned properly, but it just comes out as just being not confident. It comes out as showing a lack of confidence, sincerely. So it's not you being humble. It's more like, okay, are you not confident? So please, let's self-promote ourselves in a positive light. There's a time and place for self-promotion, but you don't have to talk yourself down. So stop talking about what you cannot do and start thinking and talking about what you can do and how you can use that to sell your value as to what you can bring to the table as a professional, right? I have experience in XYZ. I've done XYZ. These are the results of what I've done, and these were the feedback that I got, the recommendations or whatever it is. So pretty much push your positive self, right? Don't dwell too much on what you cannot do. So I just wanted to mention that. Very important on how you network and how you self-promote yourself as a professional and present yourself as a professional. And yeah, so I already talked about, humility and speaking boldly. So you putting yourself down is not humility. Speak boldly, speak confidently about what you can do as a professional. And let's see if I'm missing anything. Okay. And lastly, really quickly, I just wanted to mention that watch the language you use. If you're trying to present your brand, if you're trying to present yourself as a professional, don't use words such as, yeah, I'm just an entry-level person. I'm just a graduate. I'm just this, I'm just that. No, I am a graduate. I'm a professional. I have X years of experience. Don't dumb it down by saying I'm just this. Like, scratch the word just when you're trying to present your brand and present yourself as a professional. Also, you don't need too many thank yous. Be humble, be polite, but as a professional, thank you, I appreciate your comment. That's it. So, watching your language is very important. So you don't want to come off as not being confident of who you are and the value that you have, right? If you see someone who has value, they're confident that, no, I have a lot to bring to the table, and you have to appreciate that, versus someone who thinks, oh wow, you have me in this table, thank you. It's being confident in who you are and what you know. So watch your language, and you don't need to apologize for everything in the world. So no, I'm a million I'm sorry as a professional. Obviously, I'm not saying you shouldn't be human, but watch your language. This requires wisdom and just being in the workforce for some time. Watch your language. You're not just trying to dumb yourself down all the time. It doesn't work that way. It's not attractive. It makes you look like you don't have confidence. So that's pretty much it. Branding also goes to doing research, doing a lot of reading about your industry and how you want to build yourself, doing a lot of research, talking to people, and constantly trying to grow, constantly trying to develop. So that's what I wanted to mention for this video for networking in 2020. I hope you gained a thing or two on branding and how to self-promote yourself, and how to sell your value and how to develop yourself as a professional. I hope you learned all of that in this video. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share for this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.